screen showing
Yes, sir.
my first slide.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Very well, sir.
All right. So in the next couple of minutes, I'll be sharing a few thoughts with you on the new trajectory that we are getting into from the stereotype that we used to have. So I'm talking about a number of stereotypes. Two stereotypes, by the way. The picture on top here is that of the graduates of Caleb University, one of Nigeria's leading private universities. Actually, it was at this time that Professor Tiano was right now. And below it is a picture of graduation ceremony of Lagos State University, rated as one of the best in Nigeria, the state universities of. So what is this stereotype about? Now, all these graduates from Caleb, from LASU, and from other universities in Nigeria, before they were able to get their certificates, they had face-to-face lectures. That means they came to Professor Michael's class in the environment. They came to my class. They had practicals on site. And when they were to do exams, they had exams right there in the in the examination room, either in the lab or in the typical classroom. They were residents in hostels, so they were able to mix and interact with themselves. They had social activities, religious, non-religious. Let's look at the second stereotype, where I'm exemplifying with the National Open University of Nigeria, where by the kind grace of God I serve as the chairman of council. Now, in the National Open University of Nigeria, we have a virtual learning environment. Our lectures are not face-to-face, but online. We have learner support, we have online exams, and the students have fleeting, just occasional interactions with themselves in our study centers. So that brings us to the two types, the stereotypes that I talked about, the two types of delivery. We have the single mode face-to-face, like we have in King's University, Odemu, and you have the single mode virtual online, which we have the National Open University of Nigeria. But you can have a dual mode. So single face-to-face, single mode virtual, and then you can have a dual mode. And you can slide them on a scale where you then end up with blended learning. So COVID has now come, and there's a shift. Minister said, oh, everybody, you go back to your houses, the universities, try to see how you can deliver lectures to your students online. So at some point, we're going to have this kind of arrangement where there's virtual learning, there is face-to-face, which you call blended learning. Now, let me take a course in the next keynote speakers university, a course in biochemistry 101. And now they're doing they're doing virtual. When they come back, I'm sure that the university will organize some face-to-face interaction with them in the labs. So it's blended. It's like having tomatoes and onions, blending them together. Now let's look at delivery modes in the Nigerian university system. As of today, 14th day of July, 2020, ladies and gentlemen, we have 172 universities. This is the latest statistics that you can get. 45 of them are federally owned, 48 state and 79 private. Among the 79 private universities, as I said, is Caleb, is Crawford, is King's University. Now you have what we call distance learning centers. There are 12 of them, and then you have one open university. So if I overlay my delivery modes, you have the open university only virtual on the right side of my spectrum. There are 172 universities, about 160 of them have just face-to-face, single mode. And then you have the others dual mode, the 12. Now, there are a few things that I was sharing with you about online delivery. I just laugh, but it's not fault of theirs. We have some university, they are doing online, and all they are doing is Zoom lectures or WhatsApp communication. All of these are just about 10% of what we can call online delivery. The National Universities Commission is coordinating some standards for measuring online delivery. So if we come to you and you say you are just doing Zoom and WhatsApp or whatever, now 10% you go score. The 80% of virtual learning environment will include your courseware, different from the lecture notes that you're going to give the students. It's quite different. The courseware, the digital library resources, assignments, quizzes, tests that students will have to take weekly, bi-weekly or whatever, virtual tutorial rooms, learner support. These are aspects of online delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting into an arena that is brand new. You see, our omnipotent God told us in January that, look, you people, 7.9 billion people on earth, 7.88, by the way, billion people on earth, that is Supreme God. Who knew? Professor DJ in Baltimore did not know. Professor Kuku did not know. I did not. Professor Michael Ove, who's an environmentalist, did not know that COVID-19 would strike. And so it has stricken. And what do we have? This is the new trajectory. I talked about the stereotype that we're used to. The new trajectory is blended learning. So we're going to have classroom training along with e-learning. So that's the alert for all of you. For any institution, higher education institution in Nigeria that will survive, it's like the Darwinian, survival of the fittest. Anyone that cannot survive the blended learning world will sink. Survival is dependent in the post-COVID-19 environment on being able to deliver blended learning. So there are quite a lot of challenges, human capacity deficit. There are lecturers, they know that they're not prepared. Of course, they can't be. They are prepared for face-to-face. Now you have what is it? You have COVID-19 striking, and you have to deliver online. Many of them are not trained for that. And there's inertia to change. Then we have inadequacies, all of this. Power challenge, connectivity challenge. You ask students to use their laptops or phones, where they will get the money. Data challenge, ladies and gentlemen. So what about practicals? So you have a course in Caleb about microbiology, in LASSO, engineering practice, in King's University, microbiology. How will they carry out the practicals? There's no physical laboratory. So I will have deficiencies in acquisition of practical skills by the students. So these are some challenges. Well, the solution will lie in having a face-to-face component with the use of virtual laboratories. A question has often been asked, can face-to-face be equivalent to virtual? I'll give you an answer. Now, it depends on how you define equivalence. If it is having to use the technology for teaching and learning, then the virtual learning environment will be superior to face-to-face. If it has to do with acquiring some social skills, interactions, some practical skills on site, then the face-to-face will be different, will outmatch or outpace the virtual. But theoretically, they can be equivalent. Studies have shown that face-to-face, virtual, if you do a lot of things, you can get them to be equivalent. What are those things? They are the enablers. If you put in place trained and committed personnel, you put in place facilities for virtual and simulated activities and appropriate technology, you'll be able to achieve face-to-face. As I close, I would like to propose a few solutions. We need to mount intensive capacity building programs for our teachers and support staff. That is being done in LASSO as I speak, and the National Universities Commission is encouraging universities to subject their teachers and support staff to training to bring them up to speed in online delivery. But you see, you got to incentivize this. You can't tell the professor in King's University, yeah, come on. You have to incentivize. What do I mean by incentive? Give some money for data. Give some money to encourage the person. Some top up to maybe salaries to enable the teacher or professor to be able to take part in that kind of training. And there should be a national plan. It shouldn't be sporadic. It shouldn't be just isolated in different sports. There should be a national plan for online courseware development, and a national plan for how we can lower the cost of data and bandwidth for schools. And we have to conduct annual assessment of progress. And when we conduct the annual assessment, we have to remediate based on lessons learned. As I close, I want to propose some major roles for ADASISCIENCE. I'm quite impressed with this organization. And I think you can have your bite of the cake in training teachers and support personnel on how they can deliver remote teaching and learning, how they can deliver online teaching. You have to invest in conducting research on how to better deliver online learning. So you do a survey of people who have taken part in your training, you do a survey of those who have not taken part, and you have some kind of needs assessment, and you have the gaps that you can see. So on the basis of that, you can then plug in your intervention to fill these gaps. I suggest to ADASISCIENCE to organize competitions for schools, competitions on e-learning. Let's see the best school in e-learning. You have to get some scheme, some grading scheme for assessing teachers, for assessing schools, for assessing students. The moment you begin to announce, oh, this school A is the best in e-learning in Lagos State, you can see others scrambling. And then you have to support development or buy apps for e-learning. These are some of my thoughts. I'd like to thank you for inviting me to be part of this very important program, and I look forward to supporting your organization as we progress along this route of delivering and getting people ready for e-learning. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are so happy that Baba Science of Nigeria and the Donye of African Higher Education and Quality Assurance come to this morning. We discovered that from distinguished Okebukola did not spare us the privilege of knowing that we need to so that we don't ship out. He has also recognized that COVID-19 has come to stay is the new normal, and the remedy is blended learning for most of us who are involved in this educational enterprise. And he has also recommended what we needed to do to sustain blended learning, capacity development program, empowerment of lecturers and teachers, and then most importantly, national planning to lower the cost of data, as well as some roles for ADASISCIENCE. It is my pleasure now to move on to the next stage, which is to offer our token of appreciation by a special award for our distinguished professor, who is the keynote speaker. So I turn over to the technical department for the brief presentation.
So is Mr. Woyemi in the house?
Mr.
Woyemi, are we here? Are we in the room? Are we in the venue? Yeah, because I have to leave in another 5 minutes.
Hello, is this the right time to ask question or contribution?
We're supposed to have the presentation up.
Is the moderator online, please? Let's know what
I think we need to move ahead. The next point is for us to appreciate our distinguished keynote speaker, distinguished Professor Peter Akinsola Okebukola. On behalf of the ADASISCIENCE, we want to appreciate your coming, and then we also want to extend our token of appreciation by making a presentation that recognizes you as the father of science education in Nigeria and a role model for this new generation. Thank you so much, Prof. We appreciate you a great deal.
Thank you very much. I am quite delighted to be so honored. And as I said, I have another event starting in another few minutes. I started at 11 o'clock. I'm actually giving a keynote address there. So I must apologize that I have to leave you at this time. I'd like to thank you, sir, Professor Dijano. I'd like to thank Mommy, Professor Kuku. We appreciate all that you're doing for the higher education system in Nigeria. Even though Professor Dijano is in Baltimore, we know that you are still touching lives here. So on that note, Mr. Awoyemi, are you here? Okay. So he did talk about Ms.
Yeah, here is the award. As Prof, we would like to present this award to him as a token of appreciation. Pillar of e-learning in Africa, presented to distinguished Professor Peter Akinsola Okebukola, OFR, by ADASISCIENCE, as ADASISCIENCE through African Hero of 2020. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so very much. I'm happy to receive the award and to pledge my continued support for ADASISCIENCE through Africa ADASISCIENCE, and continue to do what God lays to do for the e-learning environment in Nigeria and in Africa. I'd like to appreciate my colleague, Professor Michael Ahove, for being part of this glorious event. It's at this point that I would like to plead that I take leave because I have to join another event in 1 minute. So thank you also very much, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the meeting. Bye-bye.
Thank you. We appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to appreciate our Prof as leave, and we continue with the rest of the program. Our second keynote given by the Chancellor of King's University, Osun State, Nigeria, Professor Mrs. Adenike Kuku. I yield to Professor Kuku.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I want to appreciate the organizer of this webinar meeting for the honor accorded me to be a keynote speaker at this event. I specifically want to place on record and acknowledge the significant strides made by Professor Okebukola in tertiary education advancement. In fact, that is central to development of any nation, especially in the area of capacity building. We appreciate him a lot. He's a great role model, and that has been said, and we cannot overrule that. Professor, I know also the seasoned administrator. You are also our role model. We learn from you.